Okay, in this video I'm going to explain how to solve system of equations using elimination. And so the first problem we are going to work is negative 4x minus 2y equals negative 12 and 4x plus 8y equals negative 24. And so when you are solving system of equations using elimination, you're looking at how you can add these two equations up and combine their like terms, and hopefully the goal is to cancel out one of the variables so that you can solve for the other one. And then you can go back and solve for either x or y, whichever one you haven't solved for. And so if you look at these two equations, if I added these together, I can see right here that I have a negative 4x and then a positive 4x. And so if I add negative 4x plus 4x, then I'm going to get 0. So these would cancel, and then I could solve for y. So we're going to do that now. So I'm just draw my line here and put in plus. And so I have negative 4x plus 4x is going to give me 0. And then I have negative 2y plus 8y is going to give me 6y. And then I have negative 12 plus a negative 24 is going to give me negative 36. And so now I can just easily solve for y. This is being multiplied, so I would do the inverse operation, which is divide. So I have y equals negative 6. Okay, and then now that I've solved for y, I can go back and solve for x, and I can use either one of these equations. I'm just going to choose the second equation, so I'm just going to bring it down here. And then, so I have 4x plus 8y equals negative 24. And then, let me scoot this up. And now I'm just going to plug in this negative 6 for this y. So I have 4x plus 8 times negative 6 equals negative 24. So 4x plus 8 times negative 6 is negative 48 equals negative 24. Now I need to move this negative 48 to the other side so that I can solve for x. So it's negative, so I'm going to add 48 to both sides. And so let me move this up again. So then I would have, these would cancel, and I'd have 4x equals negative 24 plus 48 is going to give me positive 24. And so then I can just divide by 4. And I would have x equals 6. So I have x is 6 and y is negative 6. Okay. We're going to work on one more. And this one's going to be just a little bit different. Okay. This equation is negative 6x plus 6y, slide this over, equals 6. And then I have negative 6x plus 3y equals negative 12. Okay. And if you look at these two equations, if I wanted to add them up, if I added negative 6x plus another negative 6x, that's going to give me negative 12x. So it's not going to cancel. If I added this would give me 9y. And so I need to do something to one of these equations so that when I add them, it would cancel. Well, basically, I just really need one of these negative 6x's to be positive. So if I had negative 6x plus 6x, then that would cancel out to be 0. So in order to make one of these positive, I can multiply the entire equation by negative 1. So if I multiplied this whole thing by negative 1, then this negative 1 times negative 6x would give me just positive 6x. Negative 1 times 3y would give me a negative 3y. And then negative 1 times negative 12 would give me a positive 12. And so now I'm just going to take the first equation and I'm just going to rewrite it directly underneath this one. So I have negative 6x plus 6y equals 6. And now as you can see, if I was going to add these together, these two would cancel, and then I could solve for my y. So I'm going to do that now. So I have 6x plus a negative 6x would be canceled to be 0. Negative 3y plus 6y is going to give me 3y equals, and then 12 plus 6 is going to give me 18. Okay, so now I have 3y equals 18. I can divide by 3. And I have y equals 6. Okay, so now I can take this y equals 6 and I can plug it back into one of my original equations. And so I'm just going to take my first equation where it was negative 6x plus 6y equals 6. And now I'm going to rewrite it now instead of putting, instead of plugging in y, I'm going to plug in this 6 for y. So I'm going to have negative 6x plus 6 times 6 equals 6. So I have negative 6x, and 6 times 6 is 36, and this is going to equal 6. Let's get this up. Okay, so now I need to solve for x. So I need to subtract this 36 because it's being added. So then I have these cancel to be 0. Negative 6x equals 6 minus 36 is going to give me a negative 4. I'm negative 30. Sorry. I was thinking that 6 was negative. 6 minus 36 is going to give me a negative. Yes. 6 minus 36 gives me negative 30. Then I'm going to divide by negative 6. And I have x equals 5. Okay, so then your x was 5 and your y was 6. So these are just two examples of some solving systems of equations using elimination. And I hope this helps you understand it a little better.